Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today, focusing in on trying to better understand the ways of the covert narcissist. And that is essentially being that of an inactive but compulsive liar. And compulsive means unable to stop, change, or modify their behavior. They are not able to release certain maladaptive and destructive and hurtful behavior patterns that are disruptive to the reality and communication with others. Compulsive meaning they are powerless over this. Compulsive means that they are driven beyond a satiable need. And so the effect of the lying can take many different manifestations or ways it really presents itself in the relationship. So when we talk about pathological lying, it's really when somebody engages in compulsive pathological lying. Pathological meaning that which is greater than which is normal, or it becomes abhorrent or abnormal, and to the point where it creates a disease or a blockage in their personality. And if we really look at the root word of disease, it is dis meaning not, ease which meaning flow. So when we think about disease, it really is the established flow and then the block of flow. So disease is essentially the block of ease, flow, homeostasis, and balance. So if someone is diseased on a sort of personality basis, such as a covert narcissist, they engage in this, think of it as a symptom, as part of a disease. And I think really understanding it in this format helps people understand how it is exemplified, or how it is essentially expressed in your relationship, or what you're seeing as symptomatic in your relationship with them. In other words, the lack of empathy, the inability to be straightforward and honest with you, and really have a sense of reality, that which is not in reality, or a denial of reality, but a really sort of acknowledging of and embracing of. Because realize that to live in denial is also to perpetuate a compulsive pathological lying. So that which we repress, that which is denied, cannot be healed. It is anything that is repressed. Repressed means stuffed down, pushed down, moved away from awareness. So think of it like this. If your spouse and the things that they bring up is essentially, let's just think of it like a bill or a letter that you receive in the mail. So you have, and these are your needs. In other words, your needs, your healthy and narcissistic needs, which means to be acknowledged, to be attended to have your basic communication needs met, visually seeing you, acknowledging you, not just giving you a quick glance and then turning away and ignoring you really for the rest of the balance of a weekend or day or things of this nature. So, realize that their neglect is really how we have to see where the pathology is sitting and where that compulsive lying is sitting. Because compulsive lying, pathological lying, in the form of covert narcissism, really exists in that sort of denial. And it's not just like denial, like, I'm just denying that. I mean, it's a very deep-seated and deep-rooted and has multi-facets in terms of how it expresses itself. So repression, which means you're pushing down, or you're hiding from conscious awareness, or you're just basically remaining aloof to. So if your needs I'm just trying to give you an example because I think it's really good to get a visual when we're talking about something intangible, which is feelings, emotions, experience in life, and really how to process them and then work through them successfully with a covert narcissist. So if we look at your needs, your interests, your basic narcissistic needs to be attended to be communicated with, to be acknowledged. Okay, these are basic, what we're calling basic narcissistic needs. You present these in a relationship with a covert narcissist. These exist, but to the covert narcissist, getting back to our example of these are essentially like a bill or a piece of paper that comes in the mail. If you were to just take those and shove those away, put them in a drawer, put them in a basket, put them in a bin, and just say, I'm going to deal with this later, I'm going to deal with this later, I'm going to deal with this later, you don't realize that, you know, they're essentially doing that to your needs, to your emotions, to your identity. And it's by constantly, you know, putting these aside, brushing these aside, not attending to them, essentially ignoring them, they begin to withdraw that basic acknowledgement of your reality and attending and giving life to that which is you. I mean, it is the authentic you. So, you know, one really then adapts to this usually by becoming what we say codependent or having codependent tendencies, which means you perpetuate and try to provide more than is necessary in the relationships in terms of all the emotional juice, the creative juice, the affection juice, all that, you know, is kind of coming from one person. And this can be very exhausting. And so really that's when it usually tends to present in that manner in the psychology community, is when really someone is getting just so, feeling so inattended to. So realize that in essence it's a compulsive lying or a compulsive living in denial that is one of the very hallmark traits of covert narcissism. And realize that there's nothing wrong with you. You're not being selfish. You're not being, you should not feel a sort of guilt or a fear for having basic narcissistic or human needs, which they have, you know, of course, developed that fear or that toxicity, which means that, you know, since it's been so repressed, you begin to get an inexercise or an apathy with expressing yourself, so it feels abnormal. You get out of practice. If you don't use your communication, you lose it. So that's why it's very important to reclaim your emotions, reclaim your voice, and reclaim that inner sort of stirring within you. And if you do it initially privately, you know, and then, you know, bring that into a conscious awareness and then articulation with the covert narcissist, you're able then to at least become expressive and realize that if they can attend to you or not, each case is really so unique and different, but you're going to have to really determine on your own comfort level if this person is just completely stonewalling you or really not giving you any feedback. Then chances are it's becoming more harmful than good for you to remain in that sort of relationship or environment. If it's something that you can kind of work through or work around or deal with or cope with once you're applying the knowledge here and the tools, then that's another situation. But you have to have a realistic understanding that there's only so much that this person is going to be able to do, say, and experience with you. So it's going to be very limited as you kind of realize that, and it's not necessarily going to be the exact ideal that, you know, you might want. So you have to get that realistic view of their abilities and then what you can receive from that relationship. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.